What's going on, guys? Wanted to put this video together to discuss when do you need a CDL. I see a lot of misinformation on the internet, on social media, or just people that surprisingly have a CDL and they don't understand the rules. I almost think that if you were to put 10 guys with a CDL in the room and ask them this question, they would probably all give you a different answer. Um, I guess we can kind of blame the government on that because some of this stuff, the way it's written, is very confusing, and then they can vary from state to state. So let's dive into it. I'm going to be touching base on the federal rules and regulations. Most states follow this guidelines; they're all mirrored. New York is one that does not. California is another that does not as well. But for the most part, most states are going to follow the federal guidelines. With that being said, I'm going to be touching base on the federal stuff. Double check your state to make sure it's in line with what I'm referring to. So it is possible if, like I said, if you live in New York or California, those are two states that do not necessarily follow this to a T. Theirs is a little bit more restrictive. Now, before anyone wants to pop on here and tell me I'm wrong or this or that, cite your references because what we're going to go through is going to be every single government website that I'm going to rely on. So the first one is going to be the FMCSA. It's the government agency that runs the carrier or for hire carrier, private carriers in the trucking industry, essentially. So what we're going to dive into is the types of licenses. So there's Class A and Class B is what we're going to focus on. So I'm going to break it down in my definition, and then we'll read the definition. A Class A vehicle is typically a vehicle that has a pivot point. You know, it's connected via a bumper hitch, gooseneck, fifth wheel, and it has the ability to pivot from whatever is behind it. So, you know, a pickup truck and dump trailer would be a Class A, depending on the weight requirement, but just that pivot. Class B is typically going to be something like a dump truck that exceeds 26,000 pounds. There are scenarios where a dump truck could actually tow a trailer and it may or may not actually require a Class A license. Let's dive into the definition and we'll go over that in more detail. So, Class A is going to be any combination of vehicles which has a gross combination weight rating or gross combination weight of 26,001 pounds or more, whichever is greater, inclusive of a towed unit with a gross vehicle weight rating or gross vehicle weight of more than 10,000 pounds, whichever is greater. So there's a couple of key points we need to pay attention here. One is gross combination weight rating. The other is gross combination weight. So when we look up the definition in the federal law, it's 49 CFR 390.5. You'll see that it references gross combination weight rating and gross vehicle weight rating. So gross vehicle weight rating means the value specified by the manufacturer as the loaded weight of the single motor vehicle. So if we pull up a VIN tag on a vehicle, this is the gross vehicle weight rating. It's 11,800 pounds. This is on I believe a Ram 3500. So that means that's just what the truck is allowed to weigh, not what it actually weighs empty. It's all your passengers, your fuel, your cargo. It is not allowed to exceed this weight. There's a common misconception that guys will tell you, oh, you just add the axle weight together and that gives you your rating. No, it doesn't. If you look at the number, 6,000 is the front axle, 7,000 is the rear axle. That obviously equals 13,000. And if we look right here, the rated weight is 11,800. So if we went by those numbers, we would be completely wrong. Why those numbers are relevant is because if you were ever pulled over on a scale, not only do they want to see that you are not exceeding this 11,800, they also are going to check to make sure you're not exceeding your axle weight. So you could be under this number, but be over on this number, and you're going to get an overweight ticket. Now, let's go back to the definition. The sum of the gross vehicle weight rating or the gross vehicle weight of the power unit and tow unit or any combination thereof that produces the highest value. So if we go back into the FMCSA, what that is essentially saying is that it's either the rated weight or the combination weight, whichever is greater. Why that's important is because some people will tell you, oh, if your truck and trailer combined is 26,000 pounds, you don't need a CDL. That is accurate. However, if that same scenario applied and you loaded the trailer up to the max, or I'm sorry, or beyond the max, and that trailer and truck and trailer combined weighed 30,000 pounds, but you're only rated to weigh 26,000 pounds, well, now you do need a CDL and you're going to get an overweight ticket. Some people are going to disagree with this, but the law is very clear. It says combination weight rating or gross combination weight, whichever is greater. So just because you're rated for a capacity does not mean you can exceed it and not be required to have a commercial driver's license. Now, how do we add the weight together? So again, we're going to take this gross vehicle weight rating, 11,800. We're going to go to our trailer, and we're going to pull the gross vehicle weight rating of the trailer, which is 12,000 pounds. If you notice, this trailer is derated because it's actually rated for 14,000 based off the axles. So we're going to take 12K, and we're going to add it to this 11,800. That puts us underneath the 26,000 number, so CDL is not required. Some things that guys will touch base on is the 26,000 mark. They'll get this confused. You actually need to be over 26,000 pounds. So 26,001 is what you need to remember. As far as the number on the trailer, it actually needs to be 10,001 pounds. If you notice, it says way more than 10,000 pounds. It doesn't say, it's not written in the same way the truck is. So now that we got Class A out of the way, we'll go to Class B. So Class B is any single vehicle which has a gross vehicle weight rating or gross vehicle weight of more than 26,000 pounds, and any such vehicle towing a vehicle with a gross vehicle weight rating or gross vehicle weight that does not exceed 10,000 pounds. So basically, what that means is you can have a dump truck that's over 26,000 pounds. It could tow a trailer that's 10,000 pounds or lower, and it's still considered a Class B licensed vehicle. Like you don't need a Class A for it because you're not exceeding that 10,001 pounds on the trailer. So now that we got that out of the way, I'm in Ohio, so this is an Ohio graph. You can see that we follow the exact same guidelines as the federal rules. So basically, this is a chart. Is the vehicle more than 26,001 pounds? If you answer yes, the next question is, are you towing a trailer of 10,001 or more pounds? If you answer yes, then you need a Class A. If you answer no, is the gross vehicle weight rating of the power unit 26,001 or more pounds? If you would answer no, I'm sorry, if you would answer yes to this, which would mean that your trailer is under that, then a Class B is required. And then, or if you would have just said, hey, it's under 26,001, then it would go to no, and then same thing. So you can see that this chart follows the exact definitions that we just discussed, the exact examples that we just discussed. So we got that out of the way. Now, if you want to derate your vehicles, typically you can derate a brand new truck that's built. Usually you have to actually build it and not just buy it off the lot. And you can order it specifically with how you want the rating to be. Typically, you're not going to see guys derate their trucks. They're just going to buy whatever the truck is at. What you will see is that when they buy their trailer, they will typically derate their trailer. A lot of trailer manufacturers, as long as you're the original owner, you just call them and they'll send you a new sticker. Sometimes they want you to send proof that you took the sticker off. But like Texas Pride, you pay $20, and that just covers the overnight shipping, and they send you a new sticker. So you can do that. Typically, what you'll see is most guys will max out the weight as much as possible, so they'll get to the 26,000 mark, and then that way they're under the CDL requirements. So that's really it. That's all I got for you guys. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. Peace.